Quinn Hughes is added to the U.S. roster, can't be around the team, can't look any of his teammates in the eyes, can't play unless there's another player who bows out. But we're not sure if a forward bows out, if Quinn Hughes can play, or if it has to be a defenseman. The point is, this is all very confusing, but there's a chance Quinn Hughes ends up playing in this tournament, which is crazy.
So it is crazy. I get it. Like, obviously, if something happens, they need someone there. Otherwise, they're playing with 5 defensemen in a final. So it seems fair that they can call him up to bring him around. He can't play technically. But the other part of this, which seems to be just like forgotten about, is Quinn Hughes was on this team and said he couldn't play due to injury. Why was he not just on the team and miss like a game or two and then just play the final 2 games in the second week if he was capable of playing this final?
Exactly what I was thinking. Like, the fact, like, if Quinn Hughes felt like there was a chance he could be ready to go by the final, and especially this goes back to the NHL just not defining their rules, because the US maybe does go about this differently, but like Canada was allowed to replace Cale Makar with Thomas Harley and then flip him back and put Cale Makar in the lineup. So knowing that now, if you're Team USA, how pissed are you that you just didn't keep Quinn Hughes and then before game 1 go, he's not healthy enough to play, he's out, we've added Jake Sanderson, and then going into this game tonight, you could have still had Quinn Hughes in the lineup. Like, it's a bizarre turn of events here. It makes no sense, and it just, again, roots back to the NHL having dumb rules surrounding their injuries, which we'll talk more about in a little bit here, and like some things we'd change, but like, this is, the NHL just dropped the ball in a very unnecessary fashion.
Yeah, and the other part of it too is now Thomas Harley is just on the team. Like, he's allowed to play in this game tomorrow on Thursday if they want him to, because he's technically active. So like you said, like, they could have just played Jake Sanderson for that one game if they needed to, and then they could have had 8 defensemen too. It's a really weird turn of events. If I'm trying to look at it from a neutral perspective, having Quinn Hughes in this game and also Cale Makar back would be awesome, just for like a pure like entertainment value. But like, for a final, like for Canada, like I don't think they probably don't care that much, because obviously they're an incredibly talented team too, and you just gotta play what's ever in front of you. But it's just like, hey, like, we replaced Cale Makar with Thomas Harley. You're replacing Charlie McAvoy, who's a great player too, with probably the Norris winner this season. It seems a bit weird.
Yeah, and again, Rusty says it, like, the NHL not clarifying the rules is idiotic, and I'm with you. Brian says, just let Hughes play, don't complicate it. And there's a part of me that leans that way as well. Like, what are we doing here? If he's coming to Boston, let him play. And if you're Team USA, again, just say someone's sick. Who cares? Like, just make it work. Get this guy in the lineup. I know Cale Makar was actually very, very sick. Like, that wasn't the conspiracy that we kind of laughed about on the first day, but like, again, if you're Team USA, you got to find a way to get Quinn Hughes in this lineup. However you need to finagle it. As a Canadian, I'm hoping he doesn't play, obviously. And someone says, Hughes doesn't play the same way that McAvoy does. That's from OJ in the YouTube chat. And I get what you're saying. But again, he's going to win the Norris. He has actually a case to be a Hart Trophy finalist this year as a defenseman. Adding Quinn Hughes back into the lineup would be a game changer. The good news for Canada is that it was basically a 1-goal game before. And even if you were to sit there and go, kind of the point you made, they're going McAvoy to Hughes. That's a jump, but it's not like this big of a jump. For podcast listeners, my hands are about 2 feet apart. It's more about this big of a jump, right? My hands are about 3 inches apart. For Canada, going from Harley to Makar is a massive game changer. Hands 2 feet apart. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.